Hello again, everyone. My name is Dr. Bryan Davis. I'm a clinical health psychologist with the Norton Neuroscience Institute. This is the mental health holiday series. We're actually, believe it or not, on our last day. So we've done this Monday through Friday. We're going to talk about mindfulness today. So this is kind of the last topic and one that should be pretty interesting. But just to backtrack where we've been, we've talked about stress, we've talked about depression and anxiety, we've talked about communication, we've talked about sleep. All really important factors. All can be really helpful tools to practice and to utilize just what we've talked about here in terms of conversation to have a really great holiday. And today we're going to talk about mindfulness. So this is something that maybe not a lot of people know about, have heard of. I feel in my own practice when I bring this up with patients, mindfulness is something either people know about or using, or they've never heard the word ever in their life. So if you've never heard of this before, that's totally fine. This can be kind of a new topic. If you've kind of heard about it, I'm going to clarify some information about mindfulness because it's something that's in the news. That's you can Google this, and this is something that I want to make sure that you all have a good idea of actually what it is and what the purpose is and how it can be used in the best way. So, from the foundation, what is mindfulness? Simply put, mindfulness is the ability to have present moment focus and awareness in the here and now. So what that means is, in the here and now, we're able to kind of come back to present moment, which is a very hard thing to do. Basically, society sets us up to do the opposite of that because we have cell phones and TVs and laptops, and we're driving in cars and getting fast food and just doing a million things at once. And as society, it's reinforced to multitask, right? And multitasking is basically the opposite of mindfulness. So if that's a helpful way to look at it, is mindfulness is doing one thing and giving your full attention to that one thing. That's where the present moment focus in the here and now is. And this is really challenging. As I said, we have a lot of distractions. We have a lot of things going on around us. So to do that, it's actually really hard. But when we don't do this, we can become really reactive to the environment, lost, overwhelmed. And when, this is where we see things in stress and depression and anxiety and irritability and sleep concerns. So we see how mindfulness can be really effective. Also, research highly supports mindfulness. So not only is this a popular topic just within society, but it's a popular topic within scientific research. And they've done really great research on this and found that it is highly beneficial for things like chronic pain, blood pressure, stress, mood symptoms, anxiety, GI disorders. So there's a whole host of things that this is helpful with. And the good news is this is all natural, and this is a skill that you can utilize and practice. What I'd like to do today is kind of talk about how does one use this and how can it be utilized. So mindfulness can be an everyday activity. It can also be a therapeutic intervention. So I utilize this. A lot of other providers, such as psychologists or social workers, will utilize mindfulness techniques within their interventions to be really helpful. Because, as I said, they're very helpful for things like mood symptoms, anxiety, stress, etc. But let's talk about everyday practice. And to get back to what kind of mindfulness is, mindfulness, again, is, think, present moment focus. And we're not looking to, people think about mindfulness and mindfulness meditation, which I'll talk about here later, is turning thoughts off or not thinking or relaxing. It's a relaxation technique. And the true reality is mindfulness and the present moment focus and, the present moment focus in the here and now. Because of that, you do have relaxation. Because of that, you do have clearer thoughts. Because of that, you do have all of these positive side effects, if you will. But it's not exactly a tool for those things. It's practicing what is mindfulness. Those things come about because of it. So that's good to hear. But in terms of everyday activities, how can we do this? Well, the good news is you can be mindful in almost anything that you do. So think of it in a way where we can have mindful conversations. You can also mindfully eat food, shower, brush your teeth. Almost any activity that you're doing, that you're spending time in the present moment is going to be really effective in terms of if you think about it, you're kind of turning off all of like the distractions around you, and you're coming into the here and now. So this is why things like within art therapy, why art therapy is so effective, because it utilizes tools within mindfulness, right? Because you're putting all your focus and all your energy into that one thing, and all the stress and the worries and all these other things just aren't clouding your viewpoint. So many times mindfulness exercises, the very first one would do usually is mindful eating. And what this is you can practice this. So if you want to go into Google and just type in mindful eating script, you'll get a really great script, and you can use anything from a chocolate chip to a raisin to almost any food, maybe like a citrus fruit. And what it will do is, if you follow the script, it will actually have you eat very slowly and do it in a more kind of intimate and slow way, where you actually recognize what goes into eating something, chewing, the salivation, the swallowing, and you recognize how fast you usually eat and how fast you just breeze right through all of these functions. You're not being very mindful of the process. And in practicing this isn't to make you eat a sandwich for 2 hours, but what this is having you do is realize, in the terms of a philosophical sense, is to realize that how much we overlook things and kind of barrel through things, whether it's conversations or eating or brushing our teeth or showering or any activity that we do. I mean, these are things that when we stop and allow that present moment focus, it can be really, really helpful. So, when we do this, a good point to kind of come into the present moment is actually utilizing your breathing. I know we talked about this on Monday, where in the stress conversation, the whole idea of deep breathing and using your diaphragm. Within mindfulness, breathing is often looked at as an anchor point. And when I say anchor point, just like we think of anchor on a boat, think of it that way in terms of an analogy. When a boat gets pushed away by the wind, it floats away, and it will continue to do that forever if it's not anchored in. So when we think about mindfulness, think of our thoughts that can kind of push us away from the here and now. We get kind of lost in our thinking and the rumination and the worries. And our breathing can be that anchor point that kind of brings us back to the present moment here and now. So utilizing what you've done in terms of the stress reduction, these are tools that can be utilized for mindfulness skills too. So all these things are really blending together and can be really, really helpful. So that's what we can do in the everyday. And one exercise I want to share with you is called the 5 senses exercise. And one can use this anytime, any day, when you're sitting down in the office, outside of the park, whatever it is, you can use this. And it goes simply like this. You're within your 5 senses, what are 5 things that you can see? And then take a moment to locate 5 things that you can see. After that, what are 4 things that you can feel? So think about 4 things you can feel. These can be like the temperature, the tightness of your muscles, the wind on your face. What are 3 things that you can hear? What are 2 things that you can smell? And what is 1 thing that you can taste? And if you go through that list and you just do that process, before you even know it, you are just so ingrained in the present moment. You're like, oh my gosh, it kind of snaps you into the present moment. And that's a good way to kind of take a break from either the day, to utilize maybe on like your walk, or just when you want a tool to kind of help you with these skills. That's a really effective one that can be used every day. So please practice that. Again, that's called the 5 senses exercise. You can probably type that into Google as well to get a script. And now I want to transfer gears into mindful meditation. So mindful meditation is actually a little bit different. It's a little bit more skill-based, and it's one that is often a guided meditation. What's great with this for someone just learning is a lot of these are guided meditations that come in an app. And what's really great is on your phone, you can find a mindfulness app, and it literally walks you through the process. It's highly educational, lets you know kind of what you're doing, why you're doing it, why it's effective. And I have a couple apps here that I really like. One is called Headspace, one word. They have a 10-day kind of basic workshop for individuals just learning mindfulness, which I think is really great. If you'd like to purchase more things within the app, you're free to do so, but I think that 10-day free workshop is really great. The other one is called My Life. It's one word as well. And they have almost over 30 free mindfulness exercises, and then of course you can purchase more if you'd like that. But again, something to get started, and I think it's highly effective practice that you can utilize. And again, mindfulness can take as little as 1 minute. This isn't something that's going to take out of your entire day, because I think that's really important. When we think of meditation, we think of, gosh, I don't have the time to turn all the lights down and to get into some pose and do something, when really that's not what this is. This is something that, realistically, finding a nice comfortable seat, turning on an app, and you can do a guided meditation exercise for as 1 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you'd like. And I think this is what's going to build the skill, because just to remind you that mindfulness is a skill. It's something that may be clunky, it might be uncomfortable at the very beginning, but I always like to say, when you're starting something new, if you're feeling uncomfortable, that means you're probably doing it right. So going through that process and really building that skill set and staying consistent with it will be really helpful. And as I said earlier, help in such a wide range of conditions, and I think can be really great for you. I think that's all I have for today. I think, again, with mindfulness practice, if you have any questions with this, please ask in the comments below. Please use the resources that I shared, the 5 senses exercise, as well as the 2 apps from Headspace, as well as My Life. Thanks again. I think this mental health holiday series has been really great. I think people have gotten a lot out of this. I appreciate doing it. If you'd like to see more of this, please let us know. If you'd like to talk about some other topics, please let us know. I'd like to make this as engaging and interactive as possible, so that we're meeting the needs of what is needed out there from you all. So thank you again, and have a happy holiday. Thanks.